you doing? Oh. Kisses. Hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Patara with you today, doing a special collaboration with a lot of other wonderful homesteaders on my goats. Goat care, what do we do, what is our routine, and a little bit about the history of the goats on our farm. So let's talk about it. All right guys, so within this collaboration, a lot of the folks that you see talking about their goats and goat care, a lot of them are already milking their goats. So you're going to go through an entire routine of what they do and what they've been doing and what works for them and all of those things. Now, while I have been milking a cow for going on 3 years here on our farmstead, the goats are going to be new to me. The goats aren't new to me in terms of owning them and loving them and spoiling them and enjoying them. But I didn't start out milking goats. I started out milking a cow. Give you a little history about that because a lot of you ask. So this is going to be an opportunity to take you along that journey and to explain why I did things the way that I did. When we first moved here to the property, I actually built the goat shed down here and we got goats the first fall. We moved here in July. I had goats by September. Boom. Had a lasagna garden going by September. Boom. We jumped right in. Well, we couldn't find a buck that we wanted. We wanted to let the goats get used to us, get used to our property before we ever dreamed about having them bred and all of those sorts of things. Well, the following year, we were in search of finding a buck. I wanted a Nubian buck because you can see out there, and I know you've seen Mama and Bubba. So, and of course, that little white rascal out there is Moses. So we have who I call Mama and Bubba. That's who we've renamed them as nicknames. It's actually Minnie Pearl and Miss Pickles. And we've gone through a long journey with them. They're very healthy. They are very spoiled, but we could not find a buck. Believe it or not, there's a whole long story there. So I was going to actually get a boar. I was going to get a wether and a buck. And lo and behold, that pretty thing coming up here came available to me, and she was bred, so I went the route of a dairy cow, which put the goats on hold. So for the past several years, you've seen our journey with our dairy cow. Well, the goats are starting to get a little bit older, and I've been talking to a lot of experts about, you know, hey, your goats are getting a little bit older. If you're going to attempt to milk them, if you're going to make this work, you really need to think about that. So we timed it to what worked for us in our homestead. You don't want to take on too many things at one time. Let me tell you right now, when you start milking a dairy animal of any sort, now obviously a goat's going to be a little bit easier. A goat's not going to be as time consuming compared to that beast out there. Okay? But understanding that, I didn't want to take on too much too soon already. So last year, I bartered 20 dozen eggs for Moses. This very special lady that I got cochise from, she hand milks her. She's the only other lady in this county now that hand milks or milks a family cow like I do. We're the only ones that our co-op knows of. There's a couple of small dairies, but in terms of owning a family cow and doing what we do, it's me and her, she and I, all the way. Well, she also has goats and chickens and whatnot in LGD. She has Great Pyrenees, who we got our wonderful Great Pyrenees from. But she had some babies, and she said, hey, I know you're looking for a buck. He is part Nubian and he is part Kiko, okay? So she said, would you like to buy him? Are you interested? And so we worked out a little barter deal, and I got him. Oh, look. I'm going to be bringing you some videos on this Belle. Can you see her? Can you see how big she's getting? We're getting close. So long story short, this year we made the leap. We got our buck. I'm going to take you up here. We got our buck, and he has grown up on the farm, and when it became springtime and it became very obvious that he could very easily breed and mate with them, we simply let the goats out together. And by the looks of it, he did his job the first day. So that's what we're waiting on right now. So let me talk about this from the perspective of what have we been doing to keep very healthy goats? Because the concern is that we may not be successful with the breeding process because they, skip so many years. Actually, what I have is a doe and her doeling. So I have Mama, who is a sweetheart. She has only been bred once. She had twins. I bought her and her doeling. The doeling, who is Bubba out there, has never been bred. And it looks so far that it has been a really good thing for them in terms of quick and easy success. So I really have to attribute that to what do we do? What have we been doing? So let's go over that, okay? Let's do it. Okay, so it's obvious that you needed a milk stand. So that was one of the big things that we had to make sure that we had in order to milk. I can tell you right now that this is going to be very handy dandy. We have worked with the goats in terms of training them on there, but now that we are into summertime and we're going to be getting closer in the next several months, we're going to continue to work with the girls. We're actually separating a spot in the barn right now. We're going to completely enclose it. It's going to be my milking stall for them. I don't want the chickens to get in there, okay? So that's going to be the main goal, because I want this to stay clean as possible and be ready for them to use. But I will tell you, I know a lot of you ask questions, so you want to train the goat to lead up onto the base of the stand. Obviously, you know what's going to be the temptation there, which is going to be treats. We know that already, because this is how we trim their hooves. So they're used to coming up on here, because that's how we trim their hooves, up here. So you can trim their hooves here, and then you're just going to close this as much as possible. And while they're eating, you will then milk. It's not rocket science, but I will tell you, a good milk stanchion for your cow, obviously for your goats, just to secure them and to keep you safe and to keep you sane is critical. This, again, was my Valentine's Day present, 2017. That's Homestead love, y'all. I knew you'd be over here in the video. Are you telling everybody that that is actually your sleeping stand? Huh? What do you think? Is that your sleep stand? We got to go show them the goats. What have you been doing today? What have you, Mr. Oh, okay. Show everybody your belly. Show everybody your belly. Oh, you stinker pot. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is bring you over to, I've already laid all of this out because I want you to see it. So these are the things that I have used. Some of these things I just added, only one thing. But these are the things that I use to help keep healthy, happy goats. A lot of the problems that people have with goats, we've not really experienced, which is a little bit of intimidation, because I see these things and I read these things and I'm like, that hasn't happened here. What, holy cow, I hope that doesn't happen here. So things happen. You have to be prepared for that. You need to make sure you have an arsenal of information, a couple of go-to folks that have a lot of good information with different ways to handle all kinds of different situations with goats. We know what type of situations they can have, particularly with worms, parasites, particularly with trimming their hooves and keeping that under control, different things like that. So let me show you the tricks of the trade and what I feel are some of the things that have been really, very, very good for our management of them. And by the way, if you have more, put them in the comments below, because people are watching. People want to know. I want to know. We all do things differently, and what works for one may not work for other, but 9 times out of 10, it just might. Let's take a look. Okay, so disclaimer, this boy is going to jump up here. Let's just see how long it takes, okay? So here is the deal. See? Camera hug, camera hug. Okay, so here's the deal. Feed. The first thing that I do in the mornings is I give a small dish of feed to my goats. Not an enormous amount, but what that does is that allows me to offer several different things with this. This is Tucker Milling. It is a 14% non-GMO multi-species feed. You've seen it at the Great Appalachian Homesteading Conference. I will tell you right now, and you better listen to me good. Listen to me, people. I would argue one of the best authors ever in terms of chicken care, goats, and a long list of other things, that of many books and information that you have read or seen. This is exactly what she feeds her goats. Amen. When I found that out, and I was confirmed that recently, I knew I was doing something right. There it is, Tucker milling. Mr. Peaches, get down. Now, another thing that I do is I throw in sunflower seeds. So obviously I mix that in. I just do a nice little handful. I don't have an exact measurement. I know everybody does. I'm a little bit more free with that. Too many animals to take care of. I've just gotten it down to a science with what works for my animals. So you do want to add in some sunflower seeds. It really brings on a nice coat. So there's that right there. The next thing that I do, and you have heard me talk about this 1.3 million times, is diatomaceous earth. White food grade, okay? Not the stuff you put in your pools or whatever y'all do. I'm talking about white food grade. Guys, I give every critter on this farm DE. I've been doing it for years. And I'm telling you, I just don't have the problems other people have. So it doesn't mean it's a quick fix for everything. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have to handle situations when they arise, depending on what it is and where you are. So I'm being generic because, see, where you live and what affects you is different than me. But I am telling you, I buy it in 50-pound bags. I go through probably 2 a year, and I will always have this on my farm. I give it to my dairy cows. I give it to my goats, ducks, chickens, dogs, you name it. That's the bomb right there. This is what I was giving my goats when I first got them. They didn't develop. I discovered that they were pushing out tapeworms. In one of my videos, I have about an 18-inch tapeworm, all entangled in some poop. And this is what I was giving Mama, okay? So the proof is in the pudding, okay? The next thing that I do, which I have started out doing for my chickens, was kelp. I absolutely give it to my cow. Everybody here. Everybody gets kelp. Everybody gets kelp. So what I do is I mix the kelp in with my minerals. Now, this is a brand new bag. This is a brand new bag of minerals that I have gotten. It has been referred to me by a goat specialist because it has a higher copper content. Let's come on in here. Can you see it? It has a higher copper content than the other minerals that I was using. You really want to make sure they're getting their copper. So that's a major issue with goats. You want to make sure they're getting their minerals. You want to make sure they're getting their copper. You don't want them to have deficiencies or few deficiencies as possible. So you want to get a good mineral mix. This has been bragged on to me. So a really good friend of mine picked me up a bag. I'm about to open it and we're about to start using it. This is a brand new addition. I'll keep you posted. Last but not least, I also make sure they have baking soda. Now my minerals right here with my kelp and my DE, I mix those together, total free choice. Baking soda, total free choice. I do put a little bit of DE in with their feed when I give it to them with the, it's like this, ooh, oh, hey, nah, my knee, nah, whatever. So I will mix all that just a little bit, okay? And that's what they eat. But in terms of this is mixed together. More minerals and just a dash of the kelp, a dash of the DE. Mix it up and let them free choice range on that when they know when they need it. My cows do the same with theirs, okay? And then they also can have their baking soda, right? Okay. I make a freshener spray. You've seen me talk about this. I spray it with my barns. I mist my animals, all of that. So it's simply water with Dr. Bronner's. People have been asking about that again, so I'm going to go over that. And I keep it real simple, stupid. Now, obviously, I'm not milking my goats yet, but what I have done in the past with my cow, which has worked very well, is I clean her with betadine solution and with warm soapy water, really hot. It's hot, actually. It has to be hot because by the time you get down and you are starting to milk, it starts to cool just a little bit to be comfortable to put it on the udder with a nice clean rag. But I use Dr. Bronner's, okay? This is the route I'm going to be going also with my goats. So that's what we're going to be doing there, just to give you a heads up on that. And then, of course, you have your basics. You have to have your tools, your groom care. This is the type of brush I actually use right now because they have gone from shedding and exposing their winter coat into the summer. And so I'm going to be getting some new tools, actually. I'm up for new tools. This has been fabulous for when I am trimming. So you have your pick, you have your file, you have your nice hoof trimmers. I have some videos on that. But I also use this. I also use Vetericin spray, so when I'm trimming out and I apply this if I need to, I will also hit it with some Vetericin. Works like a charm for me. So here are the things that we use in general. Really good care in terms of their nutrition. I try to be I'm really understanding the importance of trimming hooves about every other month here. That's what we have to do. That is just what works best for us. So like the first of every month, every other month, I can't steer away from that anymore. You know, you can't, some folks stretch it once every 3 months. I can't do that. I don't know. So here's what we're looking at. So let's go see if we can get up close and personal with these critters. Hello, nosies. Are you ready to come in? You're not supposed to be up there. So here is Moses. And here comes the cow. Get down. So this, be nice. Here's Mama. Big Mama, you goober. Big Mama, they need new collars, definitely. So it's time to get some new items. Stop, you're being bossy to her. So here we have our steer, and there of course is Miss Belle, and there goes Mama. See, doing what goats do, very clearly. And then down here, of course, is Bubba, and they're enjoying the evening. See, this is why I knew if I went out there, this is what I would get. I'd get a buck and a steer, not a goat. She's got a little itch there. So this is what we're working with here, and we appreciate you watching. Miss Belle, look here. Hey, Bubba. Miss Belle. Ooh. What are we gonna do about you boys? Huh? What are we going to do about you?
What?
So here is what I will tell you, and here is what you do need to know. So the summer heat is starting to really hit. And Mama and Bubba, who are anxious in terms of getting treats, they'll go around, they want you to pet them, they want you attention, they want lots of treats, all of that stuff. Now that they're bred, you have to really motivate them. They want to be in the shade, they want to be cool, they want to be left alone. I tell them all the time, I remember those days. Guys, we appreciate you watching. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Be sure to check down in the description for all of the wonderful folks that are lined up in this collab. You're going to see different things from different channels. And I was, from the get-go, I said, well, my collaboration contribution is going to be a little bit different because I'm in a unique spot right now. A lot of you guys have goats, you don't have cows. A lot of you have had a lot of experience milking. So we are looking forward, and we'll take any advice and thoughts that you have. Did you see all that? That's what I'm talking about, always. We'll keep you posted on how the girls do. A lot of changes on our farm this year, and we're very excited. Thanks for watching. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. Y'all have a good night. Mr. Peaches, you follow me everywhere, and I love it. You should do. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Love you.